What day will you be nominated and where?
I'll be nominated on Wednesday.
On Wednesday?
Wednesday about 11 o'clock in the morning. The regulations of the Electoral Commission is that you only go there with your official agent and one official agent and the proposer and the nominator and the seconder.
Right.
So 3 people.
Okay.
With the elders, I don't think there should be the fanfare of the Ssemujju where you have a caravan of vehicles to accompany you up to Wakiso district headquarters. Now,
so for you, where are you going to be nominated?
For the SIG is special interest group. That's the elderly, the older persons, the youth, PWD, and workers. Our nominations, all of us, will be at the EC headquarters in Kampala. But
on Ginger Road?
On Ginger Road. No, industrial area.
Okay.
No.
Not Chigoluwa?
No, it is at the industrial area. Yeah, that's where the headquarters currently is. I think the other site was mainly for the nomination of the presidential candidates, and I guess that's where probably they will also do the time.
So for you, the special interest groups, you're going to be nominated on that one day?
No, in 2 days. 2 days. 23rd, 22nd and 23rd.
That's Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, the same day the Honorable Ssemujju get nominated, but for them it is in the district. For us, it's at the headquarters. So
for us peace-loving people, we may choose not to come to Kampala on that day because there will be a lot of political
the SIG are few.
Okay.
Because every SIG group has only 5, and we have 4 SIGs, assuming there are about 3 or so candidates from each area. Still, we wouldn't make more than 30.
So, who do you know any opponent coming up against you for the elderly?
For now, I don't know.
For now, you don't know.
For now, I'm not aware of any opponent coming against me. But
PFF,
NUP, somebody could have picked forms or downloaded quietly and got and sought signatures. But even that, I think I would have heard from my team coordinators in the districts. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and then
I could say my thorax could be already in Parliament.
Yeah. So after you hand in your nominations, verified, accepted, then what will be the next step for you, the elderly of Honopono?
Immediately in the Kampala, probably that Thursday, I could request you to host me.
Right.
For a drink up.
Okay.
No.
For an evening activity.
Then
make it acceptable.
Then over the weekend, the next few weeks, I will be going to the sub-regions and have a conversation with
voters.
With the voters, because
who in particular votes for you?
We have the law provides for the older persons council executive at the district, and then also 2 other elders nominated by the district chairman together with the cow. So those are the people. So we have about 280 delegates who vote for me. So I will need to have the engagement with those people, together with our NRM League executives at the sub-county and at the districts. One, to keep in touch with them, but also to thank them for voting for me, supporting me. And the other one really is to make sure that they are vigorously engaged in the presidential campaign.
So they don't forget to vote?
No, in the presidential campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
As listeners, we've given his moment of fame. I welcome Agatha Atuhaire and Malcolm Pamizo, the normal people. It's Agatha, Malcolm, and I. We are the normal ones in the studio. But we have a hustlers, Honorable Ibrahim Ssemujju, Honorable Dixon Kateshumba, a.k.a. Katesh. You're most welcome to Gang. Let me now extend the 5 minutes to Ssemujju and then on to Katesh. So, Honorable Ssemujju, what have you been up to? For us, we are the normal ones, but Ssemujju, we've been talking about you even away from gang,
yes.
And talking about how you are outlining a standard for what an MP should be like. So what have you been engaging with, and are you presenting yourself as that MP you are promoting?
No, you can allow people to judge you.
Right.
Every MP will say is the best MP.
No, but for you, you've taken time out to say some are not good.
But that's permanent. I have said, I don't know how many times I have said it on this show.
It is pertinent now because we are campaigning.
Nearly 90% of the MPs are at a level of councillors. That I have said 100 times. And that's why I said the Fono Pondo, irrespective of his other problems, he will be a value addition to Parliament.
Irrespective of his other problems.
Yes,
right.
He will be a value addition to Parliament. So that I have said, Oscar. So I don't have to repeat. I'll give you the when we are presenting a budget. I and Katashumba sit on the budget committee. They have a vice chairman, an interim vice chairman of the committee who was making a presentation, nearly presenting a report on the budget to allow Parliament to process it. And I said in my mind the report that in this budget, Museveni has put money to pay Congo, he has put money to give to Magora, he has put money to give to Mubaje and Rocco. And the vice chairman of the committee presenting the main report to Parliament, he said that money is not there. They had to pull him because he was being an embarrassment. So
he had not read.
They don't read. Majority of MPs don't read. They are just like spectators. Yeah, so you can imagine if the one of 3 terms cannot read, what about
and he's the vice chairman of a
committee? So that's the average performance of members of Parliament. They are just in. And I have no apology to make to anyone. This country deserved competent MPs. So that if they make a mistake, it's not because they are making a mistake out of ignorance. It's deliberate. And then you are hard on them because they have made a mistake knowing that it's a mistake. So that standard, Oscar, I have been an advocate for competent MPs before I joined the Parliament, even when I am in Parliament. Yeah.
At Chigo Thinkers, we wrote a paper, where can we find good leaders? And it's still a pending question. But so what have you been up to in this time, and when are you going to be nominated?
I am going to present myself for nomination on 22nd. Because what Wakiso has done is to administratively allocate time and days to, because we are many, 9 constituencies. The last time I checked, more than 112 had picked nomination forms physically. So the returning office, and I think together with the team at Electoral Commission, has allocated time and day per constituencies. So we are expected, Chira Municipality, we are expected to go for nomination, I think around 2 p.m. on Tuesday. So I'll be there early, because for us, my electorate, if you look at the voters register, it's 200,000. I am not going to be voted by 200 people like Ofono Opondo. No, I am. I am not accusing you of anything. I am just doing a description.
Information.
Yes.
Don't make me feel guilty.
No, you don't have. So if Ofono Opondo takes 5 people, the 5% of my electorate will be maybe about 5,000 people. So I will try to get as many as I can to accompany me to Wakiso. We've been advised that they can't reach the center, so we'll park somewhere. I go with those that the Electoral Commission has allowed, then nominate and return. I'll have a rally at Joker's Hotel where you get it after. Yeah.
And then your campaign will kick off.
No, the campaign is officially, Electoral Commission has gazetted 4th of 10th now.
10th November, yes.
10th November. So that's when campaigns for parliament will begin. So we'll nominate and then go and continue with meetings.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So by campaign, they mean rallies will begin on the 10th.
Yeah.
Okay. Honorable Katesh is here as well. And how about you?
Thank you very much.
We have missed you on the gang. I don't know whether you started campaigning early. And I don't know how you survived the NRM primaries because we've not seen you since.
Definitely, I survived the primaries.
I even noticed you're not in a golf shirt, so there's not even enough time for golf.
Means you had the competition.
No, there is no simple simple election. We don't take. We have learned from some of the people
when you are near
that you do not take anything for granted. So we got our flag, and now we have been engaging our different communities in their villages. Yeah, my municipality is.
By the way, Kateshuma is a very good MP with knowledge. Sometimes he misapplies the knowledge, but he has it. 10%. He misapplies his knowledge to support NRM positions.
No,
he doesn't lack the knowledge.
It's just like you have good knowledge, but you also misapprise it.
No, I don't.
Because
gentlemen, hold on to debate. First, finish off this introduction.
So I have been in Shema most of the time, meeting my constituents, visiting villages. I have 229 villages. The second,
don't get distracted by Fonopondo. He has missed these Star Cafe goodies. You can see that.
So
he's busy.
Senior of
someone.
All 16 eggs.
Both of you have missed in
So Oscar, my municipality could be, it's the second largest with over 229 villages. If you compare with some of the municipalities, you realize that I have a lot of places to visit. So I've been visiting my people, so village by village. And next week, I also present myself for nomination on the 23rd. And on the same day, we shall have the constituency conference for NRM for the Shema municipality, where I will have all the NRM leaders and structures and flag bearers across. We do not have these Ssemujjus are not very active as they used to be in our place there. So we are largely NRM, and we shall be officially in the municipality launching mobilization campaigns for the president. But also.
So did you say your nomination is on
the 23rd?
On 23rd, okay.
And we shall have the constituency conference where we shall bring together all the about 1,500 NRM leaders, flag bearers to officially kickstart the mobilization. And we will take it all the way until January. We want to set our targets and make sure that we achieve them.
Do you have any independents standing against you that you know of?
The people have picked forms. It will be clear on Wednesday and Thursday who will be nominated. At the moment, you hear people have picked forms, but you don't know whether the decision to contest will be made. But for us, we do not take anything for granted. We are ready to make sure that whoever comes, we mobilize and win and defend our flag. So we cannot get
and defend your gains.
Yeah.
I am his constituent. So first of all, he has no competition there. He had a
you are a voter in his constituency.
No, I'm not a voter in his constituency, but it's where I come from.
Right.
So he organized the big party. And the women were eating meat and saying, there's no one that will come close to Katesh. So
He organized it for me. It's not me organizing.
No.
I was just invited. Yeah.
So he has no competition, but it seems he learns from his bosses, both President Museveni and the Speaker, to make sure even if you are popular or you claim to be popular, you have to make sure that you don't underestimate any any rival, any competition. But his competitor, Elioda, moved back to another constituency. Yeah.
For his own safety.
I think so. For his own gain.
I thought Agatha would add that I have served her well, and she should be able to come and back me, even if she's not registered.
As a voter in there.
You can vote for me.
I don't know about serving me. One day I found people jubilating that the road to my village, which is a road that connects to another district, that was going to be worked on. It was just going to be graded. Is that what it is called? They just put maram. Now I thought that he's going to tarmac it.
Right. So let's go. I want us to go to the late Raila Odinga. Agatha, have you followed Raila Odinga?
After his death or before?
Before, of course, before.
I wanted to know if you're talking about what has happened at his burial, which I haven't followed much, but
the country has come. Nairobi is near at a standstill.
Yeah, I last followed when people were shot at Kasarani the day his body arrived. I think it was quite shocking that, for me, that is a politician in Africa that is revered to that extent. And the shock is...
That man told shop owners not to open shops, and they didn't open.
I think for me the shock was that... maybe...
listen to him, Baba.
Maybe I had underestimated his popularity. That's because I knew he was popular. I just didn't know that there will be a whole plane going to pick him up from India, and it will be covered, tracked every step of the way. It will be live on many TV channels every step of the way. Because for me, first of all, is that we shouldn't have any qualms with God if an 80-year-old dies such a painless death. You know, like no cancer, no what. That's okay. It should be celebrating his life, his legacy, and
now you're saying things Ssemujju wants to hear,
and maybe looking at has he sort of mentored anyone to go into his steps, because the first shocking thing was his party naming his elder brother, who is very old, and his brother, his successor. And that's when I said Uganda is not the only one with problems, because here when someone dies, it has to be a wife, a sister. The competence that Honorable Ssemujju was talking about doesn't matter. So for me, that I think was the first shock. The second was that Kenyans are very forgiving. I didn't know that they would feel that way about the same person that they've been thinking has betrayed them. The first handshake of 2019, after BBI, many people think is the reason Raila lost the 2022 elections. Because
it was very close, though.
Yeah, but
200,000.
Yeah, but that's what people thought. Like they thought if that hadn't happened, he would have overwhelmingly won, because now that made it look like the same person we are angry with for these failures, you have joined with him. Now then there was 2024 when the Gen Zs went to the streets. Gen Zs had thought they would get Raila's endorsement, Raila's backing, and he didn't. The Gen Zs of Kenya that are very rowdy and brave and like, what's the word, like empowered, didn't take that lying down. When the day he did the second handshake now with this year, it is this year, I think it is in March, I was in Kenya, and I saw how everyone was so disappointed. Now, that handshake, I don't remember if it followed him losing the seat at AU or before. And everyone would troll him. Kenyans were the ones saying, do not vote for this man. And usually Kenyans are united. They support their own. But they are the ones that were telling Africa to not vote for him for AU because they thought that he betrayed the Gen Zs and what they are fighting for that seat. So they see him with Ruto and President Museveni here, and they're thinking this is a guy who now. So I thought that had tainted his legacy. So after this handshake with Ruto, and Ruto must be the most unpopular president in just the first 2 years of his presidency. So these guys were mad. They trolled Raila. They wrote on Twitter, don't vote for this guy. He's selfish. He's what? He's... except a friend of mine who is Luo was the one telling me that you don't be shocked that for us who are on, and he's a professor, so there's a Luo platforms they are on. So he's telling me that there, the Luo do not care. Raila tasobia, for as they say here. So he said that a few people like him that were saying no here, he's wrong, were being booted out after following that fallout of the rest of the Kenyans. So I thought that maybe the popularity has remained with the Luo, but I was shocked that the events that happened just before his death didn't taint his legacy like I thought. Because after he died, I thought, now if this guy had held on for just 2 years, he would have died a hero's death. But it seems he still did. His running mate, the news of his death, Martha Karua found her here. So after the trial that she was at, I had lunch with her. And I think that's, for her, she already had a glimpse of what will happen because she was thinking that Raila is the only one who controls his supporters. So now it's going to be difficult. And she's in touch with someone who is, are you sure the house is okay? Are you sure you've gotten someone to calm these people down? So what happened the following day made me think, yeah, these are people that knew how much Raila Odinga's supporters
revered him.
Yeah, so I think other than that I think he has really contributed a big deal to Africa at large. He was, during the TDA, he was very instrumental in trying to...
TDA?
The Democratic Alliance for Uganda to find a candidate in the run-up to the 2016 elections. Raila was very instrumental in trying to talk to them into getting a candidate. I think he was mainly, it looked like he was on Amama Mbabazi's side. Those talks collapsed, of course, but he was someone that everyone thought in Africa many people would listen to. I think even maybe globally. We have had we've had many more stories of his betrayal, including this story that his father cursed him. That's the reason he came so close and never became president, because even him. So there's a feeling, and there's a TikToker that has written that, there's a feeling that he always put his interests. He wasn't that of a patriotic person. It was most times selfish interests at play, and I think that one no one can know for sure. So in 2007, when the violence followed the elections, many people thought he shouldn't have gone in, because that was another handshake when he becomes prime minister. So many people thought he did that to become prime minister for a power sharing agreement. But you can also say he did that to end the violence, you know? Yeah, so...
And it ended.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Raila Odinga has been important, crucial in shaping Kenya.
No, and yes, I commiserate with the particularly our Luo community. I'm a Luo, our Luo community in Kenya, because to them, Raila was their cornerstone. That's how and why no one else could move a needle in that community, political needle in that community. So I commiserate with them. I have followed Raila, yes, but I wasn't particularly his fan because I saw him, partly what Agatha said, which has been borne by many instances, that was a tribal chief. And even when he was running for national offices, he failed to outgrow that ethnic, tribal, I could even say sectarian lens. He failed himself totally. And that's partly why he's run for president 5 times. Brought him close, but couldn't. Yes, somebody can say he was cheated, but couldn't.
There's a Supreme Court ruling that says he was cheated.
I'm saying, yeah, Supreme Court is also just Supreme Court is also an opinion. Courts are opinion. Sometimes you sex up the facts that you present to court. But and secondly, he was self-serving. He always put his interest first. At every critical junction, Raila put his interest first, beyond everybody else and everything else. And you can see the seriousness with which he took the title, Prime Minister, His Excellency, Right Honorable. Those are small things, but when you see somebody who is so mazed,
I can give you examples in Uganda.
Into title. You see, then you see shifting. I think conveniently. I don't think it was out of principle. I don't think it is because he was a Democrat. I don't think that he was. I think he shifted the goalposts in order to conveniently fit in a situation. So he's given the front seat. I suggest you listen to Miguna, who was his advisor at one time. And he also from law, was very close to him, there for the part. Somebody who falls out with colleagues every other time. The other people have remained constant. Denga in Raila's political life have been his Luo group. He has fallen out with each person outside that community, but makes amends if it is going to serve his interest. That's why he was the one behind that ICC against Ruto, and as soon as that was broken down, he now shifts and makes the handshake with the Kibakis. Then he falls out with the Ruto, rather with the Uhuru. When he's defeated, then they give him a sweetener. Then he comes back. Then he was a political rabble-rouser. I see him as a disruptive personality. He has been constantly disruptive, in my view, not for good, but for to serve what would thrust his interest in the next episode. The African Union, for example, you look at it, he came into it because he had lost the presidency in Kenya. And the Rutos, and I guess even President Museveni here, tried to sell him as a way to get him out of troublemaking in Kenya. I don't think that's a good way to build a political career. And you can see where he has ended. I think he has left his political group in a ditch. For all the last 30 years, Raila has been at the helm. You can't look at anybody, whether in the local community, where you can say he has built the stature at national level to take on the mantle to replace him. And no wonder you can see, as soon as he dies, the name without shame, the name is his brother. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It would be an absurdity anywhere else.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, it would be an absurdity. Yes.
No, it's clear. Anyway.
Yeah, I said anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't even have to say including Guyana. When I say anywhere, yeah, the emphasis is yours. So, and you can see, if you are a leader and you don't tame a leader for all that long, and you don't tame your ardent supporters to obey the rules, then you're not a good leader. Look at all the episodes Raila has been in. His followers have been rowdy. Look at the incident at the airport.
But he was not the one telling them.
No.
So
I'm saying
you are choosing a man in life and death.
No, yes, it is coming.
This time he was dead.
It is coming because he had built in his supporters defiance even against common sense. Even against common sense. The kind of thing that Ssemujju's now boss.
I'm not a tribal
No,
chief.
I'm not
so
saying.
he's my leader. He's not a tribal chief.
I'm saying it is only that we broke you down. Otherwise, if this was going that direction of Raila.
And you think the country has changed?
So I'm saying we broke your psyche. When I say we, with the NRM machinery, we broke your political behavior, the defiance political behavior. And I don't know whether they have come to terms with it. That would be a different matter. So for me, I really don't have much to admire from Raila, although he's my fellow law. May his soul rest in peace.
After not admiring anything, you're asking.
Yeah, you.
Katesh.
That's
It's okay,
normal. That's normal in Africa, even. And I think the route was now. All these things you are talking about, sending a special plane to pick him. I think Ruto is doing it for political convenience.
Of course.
He's doing it for political convenience.
For now, the attention is away from him.
Yeah, to cash in. I have accorded this man this thing. They are cashing it in.
But he's had poor publicity, so it's a good thing no one's talking about him now. But Katesh, you're on microphone now.
Yeah, I also joined the people who have spoken and the people of Kenya to offer condolences. The late former Prime Minister, as you have seen, I think in Kenya he was like a cult. They referred to him as a leader of the Luo nation. And definitely what we have seen since he died, the wish he left of being buried in 72 hours, I think also created a problem. It's as if the country was not prepared, because what happened, what we witnessed, people riding borders on the airport to receive him, it's real unprecedented, I think, for the people of Kenya. And I was talking to some of my colleagues in the parliament as they were waiting for the body. The people were stormed. They stormed the parliament, the National Assembly. The deputy speaker and the speaker tried to come out and talk to the people to calm down. They could not. Eventually, the people went to carried the gate of the parliament on the streets, took it away. I think like others have said, the only constant in Kenya has been Raila Odinga. I think he has gone through all, how many presidents he has? He's been with Moi, Kibaki.
Including jail time.
Then the two. And it seems like he had a way of getting himself in. At the start of this administration in Kenya, I attended the inauguration when the president was being sworn in in Nairobi. It appeared as if the man has been finished. And I remember interacting with some of our colleagues from the party of the president now. And they were saying, we have the momentum. We have dealt with this man. And some of us, we cautioned them. We said that the margin of victory is too small for you to ignore this man. So it's better you talk to him. But what happened after we saw the tactics the current president used of reaching out to the MPs, trying to bring them on his side without ignoring Raila. And what happened when Raila realized that they were grabbing his MPs?
That they were stealing from him.
He decided to go to the streets using Mandamano, protests. What happened? The supporters went, and it forced the government to actually come back and discuss with him. So he had a way of bringing almost every president his knees to discuss. And the overwhelming grief that was witnessed in Kenya, I think has been unprecedented. We have seen the former presidents, the late Kibaki, Moi, all of them, their funerals did not attract this level of grief, and so he was very popular. What is being said by everybody is that he did not make an effort to groom a successor. That's one of the negatives people have talked about him. And like we saw, everybody believes that he's the only one who could tame his supporters. And now they had to rush and anoint the brother. But we have seen in the last couple of months, some of the people in the ODM, the young people like Babu Owino, who is a very populist, young, especially with the urban youth, trying to position himself. I think even the reception in Kasarani when he entered already tells you that the anointing of the brother could actually face difficulties when you have some of these people in the party, like Owino, Edward Sifuna, who is the Secretary General, and then you have the old guards, John Mbadi, who is the chairman, James Orengo and Anyango, who are the liberation generation. And then, of course, the daughter. We had the daughter's speech. It's been going around. So what will be her role? When you talk to some of the colleagues, they tell you that there are so many. His death has left a lot of political orphans, especially the MPs who are getting nominations directly because of him. And so we are likely to see a lot of things happening. But finally, like all said, I think one of the mistakes we saw in 2017, he accused Uganda of sending troops to Kenya to support the government. And that accusation created a problem in the trade. I remember I was still in customs. The supporters went on rampage, uprooted the rail line, and I remember we had to advise our staff.
Hindered trucks on the road.
Yes. I had staff in Kisumu, Eldoret, customs officers whom we had to tell to stay indoors. So one of the issues, of course, Ofono Pondo puts it a little bit crudely and boldly, but the ability to be able to tame supporters, even with enthusiasm, to remain with reason. Because even you can't accuse him of what happened at the airport. He's not there, but I can imagine the penalties the government has to pay. And every situation, they just... But one of our responsibilities as leaders is to tame supporters. And I don't know who is going to tame the supporters, because they have the spirit. The followers have that spirit.
Agatha had alluded to that.
Yeah, and I don't know who will hold the group together, but definitely it is not over. The political rifts on tribal lines in Kenya are not going to end because Odinga has died. So I do not think even the president can celebrate and say, now that he's normal, the Luos will support me. The tribal lines are clearly drawn in Kenya, and that's a very big problem, which is quite unfortunate. And he also, of course, was responsible for, in his different positions. I think he could have done much more, especially in us realizing the East African Federation. But what we saw constantly in the non-tariff barriers, even when he was the Prime Minister, we did not see over the years that strong push from Kenya by all players to push for the East African unity the way we have done. So may his soul rest in peace. On a balance, I think he has achieved, he has done what he has done for Kenya, but like any other politician, he had his shortfalls. But I think Kenya will remember him.
Kaburu on X, formerly Twitter, tell Adofonopono to stick to Museveni, Uganda matters. I'm surprised that he doesn't know anything to do with Raila Odinga. Remind Ofono that people from coastal regions, northeastern and western Kenya, who are staunch Raila people are not Luo. Then we have Ofono opinion of Raila today is very biased and inaccurate. He is struggling to compare Uganda's political intolerance to Kenya. Look at people around him. June Muhammad, the minority leader in parliament. Edwin Sifuna Eluya is the secretary general. But then there's someone who said that they agree with you. And then another Akiki said those examples can be similar to many people in Uganda. Talking about the quality of MPs in parliament, we are expecting Honorable Rukaga as a new COSASE committee chairperson, being deputized by Honorable Mulyanyama. That is from Kaduli. Honorable Ssemujju. Odinga, Raila Odinga.
I think
it's commenting on Ssemujju's comment on quality of MPs.
The comments made, some of them lack the context. Because the young people who protested in Kenya did the same things that protesters have done in Kenya and elsewhere. Stormed the parliament. I think it has never happened in the Kenyan history. Storming parliament and vandalizing it. The Uganda house, which we had just renovated, was set on fire. Now government is proposing another budget to go and renovate it once again. Raila Odinga, I think the protests were his entry point into a new alliance with Ruto. Ruto, who throughout the campaign said opposition must be opposition and government must be government. But the protest made him vulnerable, and Raila Odinga helped him. Because if Raila Odinga had joined it, maybe the story would be different. So I don't want to accuse anyone, because even the accusations leveled against BSG here of I don't think the supporters of Kyagulanyi are any different. And tomorrow, even if you are the one leading them and you face the same conditions of a brutal state, their response is going to be standard of upon that you go and shoot young people, you kill them, they will be angry. I have seen children in schools torching their own libraries. They are the beneficiary of the books that are there, but they torture them. So the moment you subject people to these sort of conditions, their response the world over is going to be the same. It doesn't matter who the leader is. So I don't want to blame Raila Odinga for what has happened in Kenya, because in the recent, you saw the behavior, and Raila was against them. In fact, in one of his speeches, he was condemning them without condemning them, saying you can't go and overthrow parliament, go and overthrow the judiciary. Then you are inviting the military. That's how he was justifying his relationship with Ruto. So the conditions that you subject people to opondo will determine their response. And it doesn't matter whether it is in America where Trump wants to deploy soldiers. So Raila Odinga should be accused for the things he did. I am trying to understand what changed Kenyan politics, because these individuals competed against Moi, all of them, Raila Odinga, Chibaki, everybody. But the day they formed NUP and started working together, the working together has never stopped. In the past, the individual and their parties went to compete for power, and then they realized that you can't win. So then they formed, was it 207? 203? So since then they have been working together, sometimes opportunistically, but sometimes I think it is the conditions in Kenya that you represent, because in Kenya, political parties are almost, so tribes are the political parties in Kenya. And that's how they decided to do their politics, and I have no problem with it, because even in Uganda, this Uganda whose independence we have just celebrated was put together by tribes. So the parties came after. It is tribes that we are discussing. And I think Kenya hasn't forgotten that. In fact, even in Uganda, it will be a good thing, other than pretending one tribal chief with his whole family, brothers and children, pretending that him is national, is patriotic. Yet he does the same things, worse than what is happening in Kenya. See in Uganda here, where do people go? Do they go to institutions of the state? They visit Guru, they visit the son, they visit the mother, and the uncles, I think the grandparents, because they are dead. They will be also making trips there. So we are not different, but we pretend. The one was just... So there is pretense in Uganda. And if you see Museveni sometimes are choosing Kadaga of being a tribal chief, you will think that
your microphone is off, Agatha.
Why? But I want to be complimented. So if she has information, the public will need to hear it.
And I'll keep it off.
So the politics of Uganda and Kenya is the same. The only difference is that here people pretend. They even launch patriotic clubs and sponsor them, yet they are themselves unpatriotic. Kenya, there was no pretense. If you are representing your ethnic group, you boldly go and represent it, and it rallies. Even the voting in Uganda, if you go to Western Uganda, remember 1996, Ssemujju was stoned. It was like a crime competing against himself in yeah, so I am saying many things. I am saying many things in general terms. I don't want to focus today. He is passing in India and so on and so forth. But why are you uncomfortable? You all have been talking about the same things. So that's why I said at the beginning that I want to give this discussion context. Maybe you didn't hear like MPs do. So you are now picking up pieces. So if you listen, you will understand. So, so some of the decisions that Raila Odinga made in Kenya, almost every Kenyan politician has made. Today you have Musalia Mudavadi with Raila Odinga. The following day they are with Ruto. When
Ruto was with Uhuru.
He was also with Raila Odinga. In fact, he's the one who stormed the Electoral Commission that they had cheated Raila Odinga. So this is the Kenyan way of doing politics, that everybody will switch, they will move, they will form new parties every election, they will be crossing.
Them properly.
No, we are not copying them. But once the conditions are the same, we will...
PFF, which looks like a clan.
It doesn't matter. We can have a clan. NRM, which is a family. At least a clan is bigger. A clan is bigger than a family. Where you are serving a family, not a party. So what surprised me about his death, because I thought he had lost popularity when he allied with Ruto during the protests. I actually thought he had lost popularity. But what I saw when the man died I now want to continue understanding Kenya is a different ball game. But he also died when the opposition was trying to get together, and he was still the problem. Because in one of their recent meetings, the Kalonzo, the Karua, Achagua, and others, they are trying to build a united opposition front. And they said, but Raila is not in the room, assuming we declare, and then the man says, I am also contesting. There are many people in Kenya who may pretend, but they are going to be relieved by his death. I know the opposition now will sit together without having to look at their shoulders where the Raila Odinga is coming. And I know even Ruto himself is doing all these things pretending, but he must be celebrating somewhere else that the man has gone. I don't know whether his Luo people will not choose a leader. He may not have the charisma and the energy like Raila Odinga has, but they may continue with the same legacy. Just replacing Raila Odinga with another person. Yeah. I'm waiting to see that because it appears to me Raila was not going to contest this election. But even when he was sick, he was saying, I'm going to come back and make a big announcement. So that announcement hasn't come to be. So I don't know whether the people in Mombasa, the people in his area, will now look at a new deal maker who will continue with the relationship with Ruto. But don't get surprised with Kenya. His people now may shift and go and build another alliance and chase away Ruto, because that they have done. Almost everybody in Kenya has done that.
You want context. How would you compare him to Dr. Kizza Besigye?
Kizza Besigye is different. The only thing that are common is that they all have been in jail. They all have fought, because Raila Odinga fought for the return of parties. And people who don't know Besigye in CA, the origin of Museveni's letter warning soldiers and assigning them to be listening post was also partly because Besigye, and I think Tinyefuza, were telling NRM, please allow parties to return. Maybe resilience, but Besigye is a more consistent person than Raila Odinga. There are things that Besigye will not do. It's extremely, and he's not tribal, he's not an ethnic leader like Ofonopono wants to portray him. I've worked with him all my political career for 14 years. You don't see Besigye promoting his tribe or promoting his family or his people like Ofonopono's boss does. Maybe because of the circumstances in Kenya. And Besigye doesn't cut deals. I remember after 2001 elections, Museveni called that time Besigye had gone to South Africa, and Museveni called the Ssemujju, who was the leader of Reform Agenda. Does it matter? The issue? Okay, no. He had gone away, whether Fred or went. Museveni called the Ssemujju for a discussion on behalf of the Reform Agenda, which was Besigye's political outfit. And Besigye Njuba told Museveni that this discussion is not about us. If you want us to discuss, let us invite all the other stakeholders. And that remained, because after 2016, they are now become active. Those proposals by the elders, by the Situation Room, by the religious leaders, Besigye remained consistent. He said, this invite all political parties, invite all the groups, and we'll have a discussion as a country. So there was an opportunity, if he wanted, to go and cut a deal with Museveni to become a prime minister like Raila Odinga did, but that's not what that was not Besigye's pursuit.
Once he rejoined.
The moment you speak about Besigye, Ofonopono can jump from his bed.
You see, Ssemujju wants to pretend that he's the one who knows Besigye closely. Yes.
He might know him a little bit better than you.
You have worked with him longer than me, but I worked with him first, before you.
He also worked with Museveni.
I was his political officer at the NRM Secretariat in 1989.
We are talking about Raila Odinga.
No.
Yeah. Is that what you... You brought
Besigye. Let me make my... I know.
Okay, no, just reminding you what...
You can go and cross-check.
Yes.
All his staff as NPC on 5th floor of Postal Building were from his place. And I can tell you that when he would ring intercom, and you receive, because he did to me many times. He would ask, "Huyo kipingamizi gani? Huyo ni nani anaongea?"
So that's a basic.
Yes. In 1998-99, when Colonel Kale Kaihura, as he was then, he was a security assistant to the president and also heading anti-smuggling unit. And I'm giving you this because this is in black and white because I have the documents.
You bring the document.
I have a suitcase bought for me by Captain Finhas Katerima when I was also an officer under him. Besige wrote 3 different sheets. One had 9 names. One had 5 names. Another one had 6 names. Asking anti-smuggling unit boss, Colonel Kale Kaihura, to infiltrate young graduates into URA. And indeed, all of them were recruited. All of them were from, not even Ankole, from Rukunjiri. 19.
Okay.
Now, listen.
I want you to speed up, yes.
You didn't ask Ssemujju to speed up.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I was within my time. I did not have to speed within my time.
He spoke for 29 minutes here. When now basically fell out with us in 2000, and the launch, I was there.
No, you were a junior officer.
Well,
there was no fallout between West and you.
I can tell you, I was the director. I was the director of information and publicity.
Did it matter?
Yes.
I mean, today someone will say there's a fallout.
Are you going to say Naba is a junior?
So
you can see the heckling.
Someone can say that
you can see they are now heckling.
There's a fallout between me and Jessica.
One, you remember that you remember when Besigye began his campaign in 2000. His main accusation against President Museveni was what Ssemujju is now talking about: corruption and family. And I went to my suitcase. We went for a debate at Makerere Senate Hall, Senate Building, main hall. And I read the names on those 3 sheets. And I said, so you basically, you are not different from what you are saying against Museveni about tribalism and patronage. Basically picked his papers and walked out because he said I had embarrassed him. And since that time, in that particular campaign, 2001, basically did not repeat accusation of tribal patronage.
No.
We went for second debate. Listen, we went for second debate. Second debate. This time with Akburawori and Winnie Byanyima. During that campaign, again in Makerere University. And Winnie Byanyima was accusing us of using state funds at that time. Again, I had 2 checks, which the Honorable Area Katagaya, as NPC, in 1993, when we were doing CA campaigns. Listen, she was given 2 checks, 6 million, which she used, the money which she used to hire Speedbird aircraft to drop for her campaign leaflets of Mbarara municipality against John Ntimba, who was the Minister for Higher Education. I said, but Winnie, how can you say we are using state funds? You are the one who first benefited from state funds on your personal campaign. Again, I brought those 2 checks. Again, Winnie Byanyima did the same thing as Besigye had done. She also
So-
picked her bag and walked, stormed out.
For
So
your-
please,
The only reason
for your
they walked
information,
away-
Honorable Ssemujju, hold on
please.
one second.
So
For your
please,
information
so-
of
yes.
Opondo, I'll bring the BCJ topic back. So, Agatha, where's the Uganda Law Society going? Because every time they seem to have planned something. It's only the debates that happened to show the willingness of lawyers to stand for those positions, but the election is halted yet again.
I think I'm going
and last
to
week in our
disappoint you.
discussion, there was a comment suggesting that it will be halted, and it has happened.
I think I'm going to disappoint you to say that I might be the only lawyer that is not interested in the lawyers bickering, debates, and whatever is happening. And I'll give reasons why. So first, there's no leader. They extend mandate of someone who is like Paul Biya, who is leading from. Yeah. Okay, so he's talking about being forced. The lawyers are the ones that are always telling us a court order must be respected, must be complied with, whether you agree with it or not, as you challenge it. There's another lawyer that went and served a sentence of contempt. I disagree with contempt of court, whatever. Yeah, but for me, what I am saying is that there is a contempt of court sentence on the president. He runs away. So there is a vacuum. There is a vacuum. So first, listen to me.
You shall not be heckled.
So now, I think that we should fight against the sentence against Ssemujju. But should that paralyze the society? If you had these interests of what it should take forward at heart, that's one. Two is that, so for me, I expected that at that EGM that happened, because usually the tenure of a ULS president is 1 year. But by practice, they give him like a vote of confidence to do another year. And that's the argument that was being made. Everyone has been. And in this country, we do that because there was someone who served 2 terms. One can't live without finish. It becomes like an entitlement. That's why I'm surprised that Ofono Opondo, they gave him the flag over someone who had just served 1 term. Usually they consolidate. So now, I was saying, and I wasn't saying, I think I was just speaking to myself because I will come to the reason I don't pay attention or get involved. I was thinking that happens when the president is around. Now, the president is absent. Let's put aside whether you disagree with the court order that sent him to exile or not. But he's not here. Shouldn't we have a leader that is advancing these issues? So that's for me my first issue. The second is that, and the reason now I will go to the reason I do not interest myself with that. They do not care about these lawyers do not care about the real issues of Ugandans. If it was a law society like the Kenya one, I would be so much interested because someone disappears, it's the law society that is there, writing, looking for someone, going to court. Someone is arrested, it is the law society that is there. People are protest, it is the law society that is there. The law society here. I was shocked the other day. I saw their letter about a girl that was slapped by a police officer. It really shocked me. I wanted to write and say, oh, you guys, so sometimes now you have seen what's happening. You have people in detention for years without a trial. Law society has never said anything. Has not stood with the people. Why should I care whether you guys elect JSC representatives or not? They do not. Did he change it? So now what he's agreeing, because he first lied that he's leading, that the leadership is there. But now he's saying he wasn't allowed to do anything. But the time Ssemujju was there, what had he done about these issues? Because they have been there. When I was abducted in Tanzania, the law societies of Kenya and Tanzania were doing everything. There is nothing that was written about me by our law society. It was after I returned, they said, we welcome Agatha back, and someone said, oh, she had gone on vacation. Like, you never said anything about that. And now I'm not talking about myself because this concerns me. I'm talking about the people in jail that they have not said anything about. I liked Owundo. So Owundo, I am someone who will never say that I will not vote for someone capable just because he's NRM. I do not support NRM. Just like I do not support any other party. So if I see someone who is, but that's true. If I see that Owundo, he's an NRM person, but he is doing what the Law Society needs to be done, I will support him. At Agora, we used to call the Law Society out all the time when he was president. I think I remember Spire writing a letter saying, did the president of the ULS die? And we didn't know because of this silence about issues. So you would meet Owundo, or he would write back and say, you guys, I am handling from behind the scenes, not everything is done. You would see a willingness to work with people. And that's why when the young people protested, ULS, for the first time, stood up, because we would call him out, criticize him, and then he would see that you will never achieve that with Ssemujju. And the radicalness, I haven't seen it, but now he's also absent. I think if the ULS, if it wasn't for selfish interests of wanting positions and most of the people that I want these positions are my friends. Some are my professors at law school, but I am thinking that shows more that you're caring about this position than the issues that the Law Society should be addressing. Let me conclude. If these issues are not being addressed because of lack of leadership, because the state has forced Ssemujju into exile, first start with getting leadership. That leadership should also be the one you're using to challenge the injustice against Ssemujju. But there is a vacuum. There is a Paul Biya situation in this country. So lastly, at the society, lastly is that, of course I would love the Law Society to have a representative on the JSC. But for them to say that the reason they think that's the most urgent thing is because there is a Chief Justice that is supposed to be appointed, as if a representative of the ULS will have any bearing on who Museveni eventually appoints Chief Justice is laughable. I know that even when that JSC was under people of valor and not the one we have now heading it, they would write to the president would choose whoever he wants. Yeah. And that is that they should know that and first care more about the issues of an ordinary citizen, so that we see that that we have a group of lawyers. Thank you.
Honorable Ssemujju. Let's have you, Katesh and Ofonopono.
I think the Law Society was never going to survive with or without Ssemujju. Because if you look back maybe 5-10 years, all the chairpersons of Law Society, the presidents, were largely being facilitated by NRM, and Chiwanuka was playing a very big part. And many the younger lawyers would go and vote a friendly NRM president. No wonder some of them were either ended up being the directors of legal affairs at the NRM Secretariat, or were the ones defending Museveni in court after cheating elections. So the Law Society had lost its character. If you read about the Ssemujju, what they were doing, Njuga was arrested because he went to represent people who had been arrested under Amina, and no lawyer wanted to volunteer. So he gets arrested. How can Amin arrest someone and you show up that you want to represent him? So the contribution of the earlier law societies had made these law societies under Museveni almost irrelevant. In fact, all of us as a public, it is Ssemujju who made us now think the law society is important, and we all followed. If you had another compliant, NRM-friendly group competing against each other, even you, Oscar, you'd never have brought it here as a topic for discussion. because I have been here nearly now 20 years. It is only under Ssemujju that we are discussing Law Society during his campaigns and his problems that led him to go outside. Because you may not change things, but you may raise the profile of the problem to allow others also do their part. And I think Ssemujju played his part. The idea was that you raise the profile of the problem for everybody else, including Agatha, who has issues, then to come in and find a solution. Because you may not be the one raising the issues, the one finding a solution, the one doing everything. Well, that's why Ssemujju has found himself where he is. I always suspected that they will not allow him to serve the full term. I always suspected that either they will now go and correct lawyers and move a vote of no confidence and do something. Eventually, they had their friendly judges who sent Mabiris to jail, also to send Ssemujju. But whether there were numerous other efforts that you have abused the DPP, and remember MPs raised it in Parliament, and I said, okay, take aside the abuse. What was Ssemujju saying? That you can't be a professional person sanctioning stupid charges against people. That was his message. He may have used the crude language. So why are you more interested and bothered by the crudeness of his statements than the subject matter he was addressing and wanted the country to address? So the subsequent events of Law Society now, I think, are going to be disrupted until the Ssemujju's era is over. The NRM underestimated the Ssemujju wave and he became a winner. Now you wait when his tenure ends. They are going to get all the lawyers, either beat them, fill the hole with the NRM friendly lawyers, and then you will have Anofonopono becoming the new president of Law Society. And once that has achieved, the commons, maybe Agatha was talking about, will return. Because you will not have a Law Society disturbing you.
Was I talking about the communists? I'm not advocating for the communists.
Maybe I misunderstood you because
I am advocating
I thought
for
you were
them
comparing
about issues of
but you also harsh on judging Ssemujju, a man who did he serve even 3 months before he went into exile. Because what could he have done in that short period? We invited him at our function. Law Society never attends to functions of political parties. But he came, he said, since you have invited me as Law Society, I will come. He's not a member of our party. I will come, like you invited Sarah Bireta and others. Unlike NRM, we try to invite people to bring in knowledge that we don't have and experiences. So we invited Makere professors, we invited people from outside Uganda, and we are very happy that at least you now can invite...
When I think last month, we invited a student here, and one of the biggest things he said was they invited Ssemujju and Ssemujju came. And this was an NRM leading fellow.
Yeah,
he said
so
they keep inviting people who don't turn up.
Ofonopondo only went to Makerere to embarrass Besigye. So I don't think he has gone back. And he's very proud.
Don't bring back.
He's very proud that he went to embarrass his boss.
20-something years ago.
Yes.
Well,
But
even keeps a record.
Oscar, for me, I think the issues of the Uganda Law Society are self-inflicted. And I am surprised by my brother here, Malcolm, because you lost the end objective because of too much excitement and unregulated excitement, and at the end of the day, everybody is asking, what did you achieve? This, at the beginning, of course, you have to understand that the Law Society is part of the ecosystem called Uganda. So you cannot blame anyone for your problems. You wanted the radical new bar that went beyond dignity. And now, your president, you said he was forced out. But if he's a lawyer, why don't you comply with the law? Come back. Yes, because this is what Agatha was saying. And if you are unable to come, no, stop heckling. If you are unable to come, then get an alternative. Find someone who can move on. Yeah, but now you see the confusion, and now you are bringing NRM. What? This is self-inflicted. Too much excitement. I believe that you could have raised issues. There are many issues concerning Ugandans in the administration of justice some of which you have mentioned, delayed justice, delayed judgments, all these issues. You could have raised them through your association without being
Usually, they have been raised before in the statements that
Malcolm, I'll give you a minute.
the Law Society used to present.
and we have seen the past president.
Patricia, give Malcolm a piece of paper.
Ssemujju.
Pen. I'll give him 2 minutes.
Ssemujju is here saying, NRM president. We had Law Society presidents. Fiona, Rose Sebatindla, Francis. Some of them, I remember, like during the issues that are around High Court, some of your presidents stood up and raised issues, and Ugandans could hear. But you cannot expect that you will be excessively radical in an ecosystem where you among yourselves, then you become militaristic. Then what do you achieve? At the end of the day, you are on the run. Back home, there is fire. And after 1 year or two, what are you going to say? Did you achieve? So what lesson do we learn from this, Malcolm? Is that you need to know that most times, even when tensions and disagreements move up, increase, there has to be a sense of reason that pushes you to negotiate, dialogue, and be moderate. Last in the Gulf world, we say you stay on the fairway. If you try to be excessively radical, like we have seen, you've lost out, and that's why you are heavily divided. Even your lawyer here, you say she has no kind words for you because she does not see. No, she does, but you have spoken. No, because the statements that the president made against the person of the DPP, and I'm surprised as a lady, my sister, would you condone such a language? Regardless, you cannot.
You see, Agatha, hold on.
I would even stand. Yes, I would not accept that kind of language. It's not acceptable against a woman. And so, even the people who are sympathizers, and people who thought that maybe, there are issues that were being raised, were turned off by that kind of radicalism, statements that were personalized, and I think you have lost the objective. You have to go back on the drawing board and sort your house in order. Do not blame.
Thank you, Katesh.
Do not blame the system. You are the one who voted in broad daylight. People who are in you see, Agatha, you presented, and people are quoting you. You are the one.
But we had the vice president of the Law Society here last week, and Katesh and you are not here, and it is on their agenda as well to fight people who present decorum all the time as an issue to hide behind what's wrong.
No, first of all, in a struggle, we have something we call a strategy. We have tactic, we have methodology. I think, yes, if you are, to borrow Katesh's word, the ecosystem should determine your posture of the struggle, so that you survive in that ecosystem and advance your issues, goals, and eventually the objective. The first principle of war, and I want to take everything, the struggle as a war, is self-preservation. Which self-preservation? Oh, then you don't understand. You need to come to Chankwanza and we teach you these things. That's why your former party FDC did not survive. Now you can hear me.
You continue. Turn your microphone on.
So the leader, the leadership needs to understand that And I think Mr. Ssemujju, and we told him, said, in this ecosystem, you cannot break the wall with your head. If you do so, you are going to get injured. You could even die from head injuries. Now, I don't agree. The law society, like Agatha said, they don't say obey the law, respect the judicial decision, and there are methods to challenge. There have been lawyers and other people jailed in Uganda for different reasons, including contempt of court. What would have happened if Ssemujju had gone to court, challenged? Actually, I even asked him, I said, but Ssemujju, come and challenge this. Many of us could actually be behind you, are sympathetic that this decision of the judge was unfair, was high-handed, and so on and so forth. So he took on fights with multiple fronts that he could not contain, and therefore he's just a coward covering himself with verbosity, and therefore he has lost the end game because of the method he has chosen. I don't think Ssemujju would have been killed in Ruzia or Kitaria if I had gone and challenged, because we have we have Mr. Aaron Kiza, whose sentencing was unfair. He went there.
He was taken there.
No. What I'm saying, he went there.
He was grabbed and taken there.
No, that was good. Yes. No.
And the orange.
No, but my business is there. My business went there. He served.
Yeah.
He's now a presidential candidate. That's really. He's not the one. He's not the one. So he's here continuing to advance his struggles on the legal front. So I don't agree that I don't agree that the president of Law Society, who should actually, you are the ones who are telling us, resist misrule, resist high-handedness. If the judiciary the judge,
if I have a way and you sentence me unfair, I will run away.
Well, so for me, I don't agree that the president of Uganda Law Society should be in exile under whatever unless we were in a where they have killed your friend, they have killed the other one, and so on. But in our circumstances, yes, not everything is rosy in Uganda. But I don't think it warrants the president of the Uganda Law Society to run away into exile. Now,
for once you have met with Agatha, agreed with one thing.
No, we've agreed on many things.
I don't recall many other things you've agreed with Agatha, but for once now you've agreed.
Yeah, so this is self-inflicted. Mpamizo here himself has just said on this show that Uganda Law Society members,
we've been missing him. Let me give him time.
Can't even manage to govern themselves. Now they want to shift the blame of their failure to govern themselves, they are in their society, onto other people. They are making scapegoats. And I don't think, and you had asked the other question, whether a Uganda Law Society is relevant or would miss them. I really think a lot of malaise in the judicial system, in the legal system, is being perpetuated by these guys. And therefore, they don't even qualify to give anybody. These guys don't. You have seen him. You have seen him. Mpamizo is leading the heckling today. That kind of guy should not qualify to give anybody advice. They should not qualify. They should not qualify.
So let's go to Malcolm.
Yeah.
Malcolm.
If you look at the corruption. The corruption and the abuse of their own clients' issues. They are the ones who don't go to court to represent their clients. They cheat their clients. Yeah, they cheat their clients. And I know that there's the law council, but the road in
you going to Parliament requires you to listen to moderation. Malcolm.
Yes.
I'm giving you the last 2 words. Yes. As I promised, I stopped you heckling so that I give you some time.
Yes, Oscar. I think. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm in between appalled and disappointed, but reminding myself that this is it's okay, because the
we are out of time, so hurry up, Malcolm.
No, because there's a lot of work that is going into demonizing Semakade and the Law Society in its current form. I'm not going to sit here and apologize, but also condone.
You know, he's a specialist at it as well.
The words that Semakade used. Those of us who have attempted to read understand that actually language and obscene radical language, it can be used as a form of protest. It is possible. It has happened out there. The ladies in APA did what they did. We've seen all of these things, rather than acknowledge the issues, we all run behind the embarrassment and turn that into anger. In Uchiga, we say that Shondi knows Hindura muchiniga. So you are embarrassed by what is happening, and you choose to be angry about it. Now, you're saying that you're trying to describe the ecosystem we are in, and I agree with you. Let us not divorce the actions of the Law Society and its president from the ecosystem that we are in. It is a militant ecosystem, it's an authoritarian ecosystem, and because of that, there will always be challenges. The judicial decisions that you're telling him to go and challenge. This country, there are very many incidents here in this country where the law, respect for the law, is according to the convenience of the person who has enough power to do so. So you have yourself floated the law before, but you're now telling Semakade you must follow the law. The judiciary is captured. The challenges around how Semakade is being brought before that judiciary is problematic. He had a chance to step away. But the Law Society is not devoid of leadership. There have been activities as an active member of the Law Society. There have been activities that have been going on, but there can be so much more that gets done.
Thank you, Malcolm. Imagine this is Judge OSM telling you thank you. Agatha, you ran out of time.
No,
Ssemujju, we're just out of time.
Just a second.
We are out of time.
You know what I want to say?
But what you say
that next time, can we discuss? You know, when Ssemujju was saying that Parliament has 90% of the people at the level of cancer. Yeah. I put figures here to tell you guys, to inform the people that he misled them.
In this short time, it is not possible.
So can we have this discussion?
We shall have it. I also want a discussion on Dr. Besigye. But Ssemujju, final note. Honorable Ssemujju, final note on Raila Odinga. May he rest in peace. Alan Kasuja on
Raila Odinga
Twitter
was Besigye's friend.
Yes, on Twitter, ex-formerly Twitter, he says, there are politicians who loved Raila. They benefited from his patronage and he looked out for them. Raila hating was also an industry. People's political survival depended on how hard they bashed Raila. Final sentence on Raila.
Besigye's friend. Besigye gets
now, when you say Besigye, once a minute as well.
Besigye gets abducted from Kenya and he keeps quiet. The next time I saw him, he was with Museveni looking after cows in
I thought you were going to be kind as the final word.